Alright, so hopefully this audio is going to work this time. I recorded my last update and my microphones are starting to die for some reason, and I lost a lot of my audio from the first version of this. But maybe that's for the best, because now instead of doing two videos, I'm just going to do one. I made it from, I believe the last time I recorded a video was Chicago. So from Chicago I cycled to Pittsburgh, and then from Pittsburgh I decided to reroute. So my original plan was to cycle to New York, but instead I cycled to Toronto and then on to my final destination of Montreal. I'm in Montreal right now. I should be in Portugal, but my flight got cancelled last night, so thankfully at least they put me up in a hotel, so I have a nice place to record this before I have to check out in like 40 minutes or so. Yeah, so lots of things have happened. I decided to reroute because I was getting really worn out with the United States. There is more about that on my Instagram. Basically just going through the Midwest, rural Midwest, surrounded by Trump signs that, say things like F your feelings and whatnot, and every square inch of rural America being covered in trespassing signs, and dealing with the fact that everything is so privatized there that it's really hard to find any facilities, whether that's water or bathrooms or whatever. I was just starting to get a bit worn out with America, and also doing my record witnessing and having to like figure out if there is someone safe to ask to be my record witness for the day. So I made a plan with my friend Rob from the Tour Divide to reroute into Canada early, and spent the last couple of weeks cycling in Canada and then hanging out in Montreal, where I stayed with my friend Julia, which was super awesome. One of the big topics that I was going to make a separate video to address, but now we could just do it here, is that I'm going to put my YouTube stuff on hold. Sorry, very small group of people who like my YouTube videos. After the last couple of days, I made a few mistakes that just made me realize that I'm still not having enough mental capacity to be able to do all of these things. So the first mistake was that I was trying to go visit Memento. They're really cool frame builders in Montreal, and first I completely lost track of time while I was scrubbing my bike for the flight, and then on the way there I thought back to try to remember if I had shut the front door, unlocked it, and I just had zero memory of it. Like, complete blank, because my mind is so filled with so many things, whether that's, organizing my flights and my transfers, my nutrition, my social media, a few things on the side like the insurance from the car that hit me, and I'm still in contact with my old work for some stuff that didn't get paid, constantly trying to remember messages and things that I need to reply to, as well as trying to maintain my bike and all of those things that my memory is failing now a lot more than it used to, and I'm making mistakes because I'm tired. So then the big one was yesterday, where so before the flight was cancelled, I cycled to the airport as I normally do, went on Commute and planned the route, plugged in International Airport, and it took me on a pretty dodgy route, which, Montreal's pretty bike friendly, but no bike lanes. And eventually, when I got there, I realised what it had done was send me to the entrance of the airport that was for employees, which, because airports are huge and there's a runway, meant that I had to cycle another 14 kilometres to get all the way around to the other side of the airport. And I was already running late because I was riding in rush hour traffic on a highway that was pretty much gridlock. And so I got to the airport in a huge hurry, boxed my bike, and then security said, oh, we don't have a big scanner, so you have to unbox your bike. Anything that's in a bag needs to come out and be scanned on our scanner. So I had to unbox my bike again and then rebox it again. And at that point I was like really late for my flight. So went through security, emptied my pockets and everything, pulled out all the technology, and as I hurried away from my flight, I didn't notice that I left my keys at security. So got to the gate, found out that the flight had been delayed for 3 hours, went to sit down and eventually figured out that my keys weren't there. Went to find a person to talk to and they said, oh, you can go out, go through customs, go back to security, go through security again and ask them if they have your keys. So I did my whole lap of the airport again and I did have my keys, got my keys back, great. And then as I went to scan my boarding pass to get back into the international area, it said flight cancelled. So this huge mess of things that, like kind of just started with the fact that I didn't have enough time to do my due diligence about the route to get to the airport, but, has all these knock-on effects, like my bike is not packed as securely as I would like it to be, so it's more likely to get damaged, and things just become more and more risky as more mistakes continue to get made. So I know that the only way to reduce my stress levels is to cut things, and the easiest thing to cut is video, and that also enables me to send some of my heavy gear home so that I don't have to carry around quite as much weight, which will be helpful as well, as I've got a heavy setup for the video editing stuff. So I'm just going to be recording video and backing it up and not editing as well. So from Chicago, I cycled over to Pittsburgh over the hills and peeled over to Toronto. Things felt a lot calmer. I kind of felt like a weight had been lifted off me. I wasn't having to worry as much about what I say, which was great. And then from cycling up to Ottawa, I ended up in Quebec, cycling a 500k loop around through Le Petit Train du Nord, and down to Montreal. It's been super lovely in Montreal. I saw bike polo, caught Montreal bike polo for an evening, and tried my first poutine, and did all the things. And now I've finished 7,500 kilometers across North America, and I'm headed on to Europe. My next leg of the trip is Portugal to Glasgow in Scotland. And yeah, it's been a bit of tricky to figure out how much rest I should have versus how much I should push on, but the seasons are still chasing me, so I have to continue as the temperatures start to get colder and colder, at least until I get through the north, which is another 5,000 kilometers from here. So I think my next major rest time is going to be in Glasgow, and I'm back on my old routine of pedaling. Anyway, so I'm stopping my YouTube video production for now, but I'm still capturing video, and it just means that I'm just going to work through all of the stuff that I record at the end. But I'll still be posting photos and videos on my Instagram, Dirt Drop Robbie. I assume, pretty sure everyone who watches these is from my Instagram anyway, but if you're not, you can go over there to keep up to date. Anyway, take care of yourselves. Down.